Okay. So again, welcome everyone. Full moon day, so high energies. And what other better topic to discuss about other than Tri-Dosha? Tri-Dosha is something which is so much integrated in our life, our health, our mental, emotional, physical being, because this is basically who we are. This is how we are kind of made, formed, whichever way we take it. There are a couple of fundamentals to humans, like we call these different names, like DNA is one thing, and we say we are made up out of our DNA. So DNA has its own place in our existence. Similarly, Tri-Dosha. And Tri-Dosha, as in our previous discussion, we saw that how they are linked to Panchbhutas. And as you can see here, these Panchbhutas are in combination part of Tri-Dosha. So nothing is in isolation. And that's the key point to keep reminding ourselves. Sometimes we think that, it is black and white. It is left or right, forward, backward kind of situation. But most of the time in our life, it's an intersection or overlapping. That means it's a combination of things, events, concepts. And that's why the more we learn about different concepts, it's not just that we are increasing our awareness. To me, the most important thing is we should improve our knowledge of interdependence or interactions, how these concepts have with each other. That's very important. So, talking about three doshas, these are not new. This is not something, anybody has said, and that's why we should believe it. This is thousands of years old wisdom. This is how our body functions. Unfortunately, even if we have millions and millions of books written on many topics, there is no simplified way of explaining how our body works, because it is really inter kind of related these topics, so it becomes a little complex. So it's a basic concept, Tri-Dosha, which is the fundamental to the way our body works. The more we live in sync, means in synchronization with nature, in our day-to-day life, healthier we live. And healthier means, again, mentally, emotionally, physically. All these psychosomatic and other issues that we see in our life are coming directly or indirectly because we are against the nature. We don't follow the circadian rhythm. We don't follow what our basic fundamental means the body requires, and we get stressed. We get into many things that is kind of unknowingly maybe, but going against us. So what is Tri-Dosha? Tri-Dosha is a fault or error against what? Cosmic rhythm. So it's a change, it's a deviation. Dosha, which is derived from thus, this is the all governing forces. So it's not simple, it's not something very minor or something which can be neglected. It is fundamental to our life. And because it is impacting the balance, it does impact our whole life. Balance means what? Balance means basically you are referring to the balancing of the body, left and right side. You have organs, your systems, which work on both sides. Some are just one, only like heart, only one. Lungs, you have a pair, so left and right. So body do need to balance. Then there is a balance between, say, heart and mind coherence. You need a balance there. Then you need a balance between us as a body and the universe, our environment. So balance has multiple meanings. And again, there is no one which is more important than the other. We are referring to all of them. So when we talk about Tri-Dosha, which is Vata, Pitta, Kapha, certainly we need to understand what it means. It's a combination. So Vata is basically, you can say, air, which is primarily governing our nervous system. So you may only imagine that how important that could be, because nervous system is controlling all the different systems in our body, functioning of organs, functioning of tissues, cells, all the way down to that cellular level. So if Vata is imbalanced or having any issue, you will have impact all over the body. Now, Vata out of Panchbhutas is a combination of Akash and Vayu. Again, especially in North America, we do not spend much time outside. We are either in our workplace, in the car, traveling, but really out of 12 months in a year, and then breaking it down to daily basis, how much time really we spend out in the nature? If you are not outside, you are missing the real Vayu. Of course, you're breathing inside the house, you have air. Is that fresh air or is that stale? Stale means the same recirculated air. Akash, because you're inside, you're missing out the Akash part. So Vata gets impacted tremendously when you are in this lifestyle. Now, I said North America. However, even if you say India, Asia, or any other part of the world, some months certainly we miss, but even parts of India or other places, we are getting more and more into the same Western lifestyle. Means you are inside the house, inside the workplace and all, everyone, temperatures globally increasing. So people are just comfortable being inside the house, not, more out in the open. So you are impacting your intake of that, the element of Vata. Why? Because you are missing the Akash, missing the Vayu. And this proportion impacts the way our body functions. So same as Pitta. Pitta is the combination of fire and water. Kapha is a combination of water and earth. So you see they are repeating, like water repeats between Pitta and Kapha. So this way, when you talk about the combination, you see how it impacts the basic force which is governing our body. So if we look into the basic functions, long story short, kind of that, okay, what does it mean to me? You can see as three things. Input: to survive, we need to have some energy. So input means you are eating does, or taking some, what we say, food doesn't mean just solid. It could be liquid, it could be just breathing, it could be even your thoughts. Those are all input. So that's the input and absorption, and output or excretion. So you are taking and you are excreting. After you have taken, means input, you have to transform it. Same thing, whether it is solid, liquid, or even your thoughts, right? You are processing it now. That is Pitta. You have processed your input. You need a storage. Imagine your laptop, you don't have any storage capacity. You have a battery but cannot store. It's very old. So you have to keep it plugged. The moment you turn off the power, your laptop turns off. Why? You don't have a storage. You need to replace the battery. But with our body, there is no such. So storage is very important. So you have Vata, Pitta, Kapha. All three have great importance. We cannot say one is more important than the other. And hence, we have to see them in totality. We cannot see anything in isolation. Now, another important thing is, because it is going to the cellular level, we have to really see that the impact is same. Doesn't matter whether it's a very small creature like, say, a fly or something, or a human, which is, fly is not even an inch in size. Humans, 5-6 feet. It doesn't matter the size, impact is the same. That means it is not just for us. That's how the universe operate or function. And this transformation is what the whole energy system is taking place in our body. So lifespan, size, that doesn't matter. This is what it goes. The process which is impacted by Vata, right, is certainly huge. And one of the reason is how many disturbances it impacts. So out of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, Vata impacts the most disturbances in our body. By far, it exceeds the impact of Pitta and Kapha. So you may imagine that how important is Vata. Now, to understand this, we have to see the Ayurvedic clock, circadian rhythm, whichever way we call it. There is time for doshas. So particular time of the day, a particular dosha will be more prominent working on. So you can see here in the clock 24 hours, it is very rhythmic. It goes very systematically. So 24 hours, you have these three doshas divided, and the day is divided into 6 cycles, each cycle of 4 hours. So you can see from, say, 12 noon to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, like every 2 hours, it is represented, and combination of 2, which is 4 hours, is one particular dosha getting more active. So between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., Pitta is more active. 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Vata is active. So what happens if you want to see it simply? The first 12 hours, if we see 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., the subcycles, it's like 6 to 10, Kapha increases, 10 to 2 p.m., Pitta increases, and 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Vata increases. So in case of Vata, now you know the time importance of 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So Vata is impacting your nervous system. And what happens at this time? This is the snacking time, right? This is the time when we really get into snack, and people do say that, go for early dinner, and it's really good. Eat before sunset, like typically. There are many reasons why people say this. But now you understand when our, ancestors, our, um, you know, the wiser people in the community, in the family, and gurus, they always say, eat before sunset. This is one of the reason as well. So if we are eating around 5 to 6 in the evening, then you are not snacking. It impacts tremendously. And this is the time for input, right? So if we follow the cycle, how much it helps us, you can only imagine. If we really see the second half, which is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., the Vata time is 2 to 6. Again, because it is impacting nervous system, this is the time. Best time for input. Now, input of what? We are not eating at 2 in the morning. This is your spiritual, this is your sadhana, this is your real connection to the universe. The input is spiritual, the input is wisdom, the input is, connecting with the universe. That's why you may have heard many, many times, it is recommended Brahma Muhurat, which is around 4 to 6 in the morning, that, okay, if you want to do meditation, pranayam, yoga, or people say, wake up early. Why? Because now you are up at 5 o'clock, 6, is the time, 2 to 6. So 4 to 6 is really, really important. Why? It is the Brahma Muhurat and the input of cosmic energy. If you are looking at the rising sun, this is the time when you get the energy from the sun, when the sun is red in color, when the sun is less than 30 degrees up in the horizon. After that, it has more harmful rays. It can harm you. But that time, 5 to 6, is, sunbathing, as we call it, or be careful. But sun grazing is also one of the ways of inputting that energy which nature has for you. So as a student, we study late. You're studying till late hours, you're sleeping late, and then you're waking up late. So you miss all this. You have missed the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock window. And then what happens? The 2 to 6 p.m., what we saw before, that is the time you are not eating. You are maybe having sometime late lunch, and then your dinner will be much later. So you see, we are all against the circadian rhythm. But if we can follow, then this is wonderful. So what happens, you know, if you follow the rhythm, you're getting ready when to sleep, getting ready when to wake up, be active when to relax, as per who we are. That means the mother nature, the circadian rhythm. And that is why these things are so important, and they impact us. So you see, Tri Dhatu is, which is the root or the foundation of an entity. And when the balance is disturbed, it will lead for, any kind of issues, which is all related to Tri Doshas, means imbalance. And then we end up having issues in our life, and we say, hey, what happened? Why I'm, either mental, emotional, physical, whatever issues that we are having. Okay. Then if we look at the subtypes, subtypes of the Vata, so there are 5. And this is, again, has so much impact on our body, physical, mental, or emotional. Sorry. That it has 5 sub-elements, which is Prana Vayu, Udana Vayu, Samana Vayu, Vyana, and Aparna Vayu. So Apan, these are sub-elements of Vata. And if we understand it properly, we can be in sync with the Vata. And if you are in sync with Vata, you can avoid all kind of issues that what we have. So these subtypes which are impacting directly our, the mental part, because you see, this is all related to breath. This is because, this is referring to Vayu means air, right? And in this case, it is going to the breathing, or you can say wind is referring to our breathing, means the whole respiratory system, and it is linked with your, you can say, the nervous system. So that's why it has direct link to your prana, to your input, and it is so important. And the name itself, right? Everywhere you will see the word an. That's what it is kind of ending with, like pran, udan, saman, van, apan. So this an is referring to the breath or energy, the energizing part. And that is why these are all subtype of vata, which is impacting directly. So what is the dietary kind of, you can say, the guide or recommendation that we have? For Vata, avoid, like we say, cold salads, or there are some dressing, avoid caffeine, or, ice cold drink. So not very hot, not very cold, the temperature of what you are eating or drinking. Of course, vegetables, green vegetable soups, that really helps. Now, salt, salted nuts versus dry, means the amount of salts. Sweet fruits, they are good for vata. Avoid unripe fruits. So those kind of things. So there are certain things that you can increase in your diet. There are certain things you can avoid or decrease, right? Like excess oil, you may want to reduce. So there are really good oils, like I prefer coconut, cold pressed coconut oil, very soothing, in sync with the nature, our body can process so easily. There are, right, we take different kind of meals, so, um, kind of thing that you can experiment and find out what works. Nothing is permanent or whatever. So please take the advice as a guideline, not as a rule. That's the most important part. And pranayam, which really impact this, is nadi shodhana. And this is one of the reason that, why I always recommend and I follow it myself. A bit of stretching before meditation and after stretching is nadi shodhana. because it really calms you down. It brings your brain waves down, and hence it is much easier to get into meditation. It impacts Vata directly. So this is the simplest, right, with a very minimum side impact, if at all any. Because other pranayam, if you don't know, you don't learn properly, it can create some issue. Like anything else, you should learn from a proper source. And then if you follow this pranayam, it will help you improving the Vata Tri-Dosha. And then comes different things like, churna, different children, what we say. So just make it this, it's like, and take it as an what we call appetizer. You have this, it will improve your entire system, right? And this is just one, but there could be many more different ways as a part of your diet, that not only we are looking into the circadian rhythm, but what you are eating, how you are eating, at what time you are eating, how much we are eating. All this contributes towards your well-being or balancing three doshas. So it's not just one thing, I do my pranayam or I do my meditation and that's it. No, you have to take care of the diet part, what you eat, how. And these are all, you see, natural things. It may take 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometime half an hour, depending on the recipe you are using. And you may wonder, I have time or no, and all those things. However, having processed food in our day-to-day life certainly goes against our energy, certainly goes against our three doshas, or they contribute towards the imbalance, put it this way. So simple things, these are the, ingredients always available in our kitchen, very easy, accessible. So see what works for you, try something, and then go for it. Again, take it as a guideline, not as a rule. But the more you are in sync, the more you will enjoy and living in the circadian rhythm. So thank you, masters. This was, um, you know, for our session today. If you have any question or any sharing that